If you're not using full-text search on FamilySearch.org, then you might be missing out on a lot of documents that your ancestors have created. Let me walk you through it. So I'm at FamilySearch, and if you haven't got an account at FamilySearch, it's easy to create one. It doesn't cost anything, and it makes it, then you can have one place where you'll get hints for different things. But let's go to search, and then in the drop down you'll see full text. So click that. You'll get a box where you can enter your information. In this case, I'm going to put Sarah Shannon, and I'm going to put it in quotation marks because that way then anything, it has to have the word Sarah and Shannon together. If she had a middle name, then I might put a star, or I could put the middle name, but for now I'm just going to put this. She lived in Ontario, Canada, and we're going to search. Now you can see that I have 464 possibilities. Now there are ways to filter. You can filter by collection. You can filter by year. You can filter by record type, but I'm going to go to places, and you'll see that there's some for Canada, some for the United States. So I'm going to drop down for Canada, and then in particular I'm going to go to Ontario. I'm not going to select that though. I'm going to drill down even further, and I'm going to go to Leeds and Grenville, and that's where she lived. Now I can actually choose Gananoque if I wanted to, but I'm going to choose Leeds and Grenville. So I'm going to apply it, and now I have 18 items. So this is what I found yesterday, and I wanted to share with you because my cousin, I think he's my second cousin once removed, Ron Shannon, was super excited when I told him about this find, and he wasn't aware of full-text search. So I thought, well, I should share with you in case you're not aware of full-text search. So if you click that, you'll go directly into the document. Now full-text search, they have millions of records at FamilySearch, and they have went through all of those documents now, or they're going through them all, and they are using AI to make transcripts of the written text, and then by doing so, then they are able to now you can find things more easily, even though these things are not indexed. So you'll see this is the will, and it's a will that went to the surrogate court, and it's in the town of Brockville, and she's listed as being a nurse. Now she worked for the Salvation Army for much of her life. On the right hand side, you'll notice that it has all of the transcript. So I can copy and paste this information. I can also download this information. So I click that, and I can choose whether I want to have the highlights or with no highlights. I can make it a JPEG, and I can have no record image. And then it gives me a transcription and a citation. You can choose whether you want to include it or not, and then you can download that information. So I downloaded all this information, and my cousin Ron was super excited to hear about this. This document ended up being about, I think it was 19 pages, and it was interesting because it also listed her living siblings in the document because she was sharing the amount of money that she had with them all. So let me see if I can figure out which page we're looking at. This is that. I think it's around here. So you'll see at the bottom that you have images that you can select, and you can choose which ones you want to look at. And of course, I'm going to not pick the right one here. I think this is the right one. And here it gives the list of all the siblings' name and highlights them. Now, my ancestor is Lily Shannon. That was Sarah's sister. And what's really interesting about this is that it gives the exact location of where they lived at the time of this document. So if you weren't aware of that information, that would be super helpful for your research. So I hope you found this helpful. Earlier I suggested that you just put Sarah and Shannon, but if I would have put Jane, I would have found this document. So, play around with how you do your searching, whether you're putting names in or taking names out. A lot of times I feel like less is more, so sometimes I don't put a lot of information, but then if you get too many hits, then sometimes you need to drill down and narrow down your search a little bit. But if you found this video helpful, I hope you like the video, and also if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe and ring that bell so you're notified of future videos. I am going to be doing a video very shortly on Christina Shannon. She had a sad life, but I think it's still an interesting life, and so I hope you follow along so you can hear more about Christina's story. Thanks and happy hunting.